welcome to the second episode of Relationship Rewind. I'm Jason Hairston.
I'm Ron Broussard.
Yes, and this time we actually have some questions.
Yes, we did have some questions come in. I want to say thank you to everyone who's turned in all their questions. We really appreciate you. First of all, we just appreciate you for tuning in and listening to our videos and the things that we're putting out there. And we're hoping that the things that we're giving you, the tools and the keys that we're helping you within your relationship, you're applying them in your everyday life and in your relationships.
Yes, because we love to help people, and that's what we do for a living. And we really appreciate your support, like Ron said. So let's jump on into the first question.
We got a lot of questions, man. I'm excited about this, man. A whole page full. Oh my God.
Definitely. But we're going to deal with a few of these questions. And the first one is, how can we find inner peace and not get too attached so we don't get hurt? Or is that impossible? I'll let you touch on that first, Ron.
Okay. How can we find inner peace and not get too attached so we don't get hurt? Or is that impossible? First of all, if you're seeking for inner peace, that's great. That tells me that you're looking to stretch yourself and to enhance and to bring in a more effective relationship for you or your mate or your significant other. The way this question was put to us, to not get too attached, I feel personally that somebody's probably feeling that they may lose something within that vulnerability for them being attached. But the most important thing for you to do if you're trying to find inner peace is to be in that present moment. And I know we speak a lot about being in that present moment, but if you're being in that present moment and you're enjoying that relationship for you, not for what it's going to bring about, but what you can bring into that relationship, you won't get too attached and you won't be hurt. You'll be able to enjoy that relationship for the fullest. It's not impossible. Everything is possible as long as you believe and as long as you put in the best effort that you can in that relationship.
Right, I agree. And also I think that one of the ways that we can find peace is if we stop being so hard on ourselves. And I think that we compare ourselves to other people, we judge ourselves too much, and we judge our partners too much. And all that judgment is what causes a lot of chaos in our mind. So don't be so hard on yourself and laugh at yourself when you make a mistake. You know, that's one of the things that help you find peace within as well. And I always tell my clients, I suggest that you try to take at least 10 minutes every day to meditate, because that'll help calm your mind, help you get into your breath and get out of your mind. Because all of the chaos and all of the chaos that's in your mind is from you thinking these negative thoughts. So you want to find ways to back out of that. If you got to watch a comedy, anything you need to do to get your mind off of being so hard on yourself and all of the chaos that's in your mind. And as far as how not to get too attached, I think that you have to realize that a person in your life shouldn't make your life better. And when you put somebody up on a pedestal and you make them the catalyst to your happiness, you're setting yourself up for failure, because you should be responsible for your own happiness and your own peace of mind. You shouldn't be looking for an external source to make you happy. So when you realize that, then you can start to shift your focus from putting the responsibility on happiness and finding your peace on another person, and put it back at yourself and do things that you need to do to find that peace within. Like I said, meditation and not being so hard on yourself. So those are a few tips that I think that can help you find that inner peace.
And to amplify on what Jason was saying, and just to paraphrase it, he's saying that you have to be happy within yourself. The person that's coming into your relationship, they can only contribute to your happiness. They are not going to be somebody that's going to be in the relationship, more importantly, where they're above you in that relationship. They're contributing to the happiness that you already have within yourself. So if you're going to find inner peace, you already have inner peace within you. Find those things like Jason said about meditating, taking time for yourself, taking time to pamper yourself and appreciate you for who you are, because you are a beautiful person. You're a very loving person. And that way you'll be able to find that inner peace and that joy that you're searching for, and then you won't be able to get too attached. When you get too attached is when you see something in that person that you don't have, and you get attached to that emotion or that feeling or how that person feels about himself or herself.
Yeah, right. They fill in the void that you have within. And I want to say simple things too, like just being out in nature, taking a walk in the park, because I think a lot of us don't get outside enough to get fresh air. just being out, in the park and just relaxing and taking a nice walk, things of that nature can also help you find that inner peace.
So is it impossible? No, it's not.
Definitely not impossible. It's possible.
It's very possible as long as you look within yourself first. Find those things that make you happy. And again, it goes back to what you truly want in a relationship. What emotions you want in a relationship, not what type of guy. Because if you say, look, I want a trusting, I want a loyal, I want somebody that's going to, contribute to my happiness, I want this and I want that, that's going to come. The good, handsome-looking young man or significant other or mate, beautiful, whatever it may be, is going to come. That's going to be the blessing on top. That's the icing on the cake.
Definitely.
But find out those attributes that you want in that person, that you have within yourself inside.
And working on that, it's going to take work. This doesn't happen overnight. We've been so used to being programmed to thinking things in the wrong way. So shifting your perspective, it takes work and it takes time. So all you have to do is decide that you want to be dedicated to changing your perspective. And when you change your perspective, your life will change and your relationships will change. So that's the key, doing the work.
That's great. That's great. So where are we at now? You think we've answered that one clearly? If we did not answer that clearly, definitely inbox Jason or inbox myself. And I think Jason will have that on the back of this clip, and we'll send you something that we can further clarify. More importantly, we can give you some little keys to help you go forward with that.
Right, definitely. Okay, and the next question is going through pain important? And if yes, why? And I would say going through pain is important. And the reason why it's important is because there are lessons to be learned within that pain. A lot of us label pain as this negative thing, but actually pain is where you grow the most when you come out of that pain. So sometimes it's necessary for you to experience pain so you can grow. But when you label pain in a negative manner, you don't find the lesson. You're not looking for the lesson. So you just, I'm in pain, I'm in pain. All you're looking at is the pain itself, but you're not looking at the lesson. So if we could reprogram our minds to say, okay, I'm hurting right now, but why am I hurting? What is the lesson here for me to learn? And once you find the lesson and learn the lesson, you won't feel that pain again because you've grown out of it.
Yes, that is correct. And let's just take the word pain. Pain is when you're hurting. And it's not in the emotional sense. Pain is when you're physically hurting. So what you would want to do is say, first of all, is that I'm currently struggling with something.
Right.
Because when you're struggling with something, that means you're trying to come to some fruition of a new experience and a new growth period in your life. So stretching yourself is a struggle. It does take some time. It does take some effort. But again, when you stretch yourself, you never regain that former shape or that former dimension that you're in. So going through pain or going through those struggles is very important. There's a lesson to be learned in that pain. And more importantly, it needs to be done because guess what? You may stumble across that struggle and you may get over it, but let's say you didn't learn from it or you didn't experience from it. A year down the line or 2 years down the line or even 6 months, that same thing in a different scenario or a different situation is going to come back and face you again.
Right.
And then you're going to be looking at yourself like, man, I just went through this again. The lesson was not learned.
Right.
You didn't learn through that struggle.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because that's what it is too. Pain is an opportunity for your growth, and it's a necessary growth that you need to go through for your evolution. And when you don't face the lesson, like Ron said, it comes back again. And the next time it comes back, it'll be even more painful. So the best thing to do is to deal with it right then and there. And I think another thing, I'm glad you said that, pretty much saying that you should relabel it and don't really call it pain. I think that if you would say something like, I am in an uncomfortable situation right now, I think that would take down some of the negative connotations surrounding around the word pain itself. So you could just say, I'm going through a challenging situation right now.
I'm going through a struggle.
Right, or a struggle.
Anything but pain. If I dotted you in your eye, that's pain.
Yeah. So I think that would be helpful to redefine what you're going through and to recognize that every time you feel that uncomfortable circumstance, you should be excited because you should know that at the end, when you come out of that, you're going to be a stronger, better human being.
And you can't ignore it. You can't sit there and brush it under the rug. And I'll give a perfect example. It's kind of like you being in a relationship with someone and you say, man, I can't even believe I was in that relationship. They was crazy. So, you know, I just had to get rid of them. And you didn't address it. You just said, okay, I cut them off. And that's fine when you cut them off. But guess what? You didn't find out what you was doing to attract that person into your life in the first place. So guess what? When the circumstances happen again and you meet somebody else, you're going to be like, man, I met somebody else and he's even crazier than the last one.
Definitely.
And so address the issue. And what I mean by addressing the issue is go within to find out what you're doing that's causing you to have those struggles, causing you to have those situations. Learn from it. There's seeds in there. There's knowledge in there for you to learn from it. Okay, maybe I did this wrong. Maybe I need to change my approach. Maybe I need to change my circle. There's a lot of different circumstances that causes you to make those decisions in order to attract that person within your life. So going through pain is important. Our struggles is important because there is a learning experience and there's a process behind it.
Definitely. And I always tell my clients, stop choosing to be the victim and become the student in everything in your life. And during the struggles and during the pleasant moments in your life, everything can be learned within all of those situations. So become the student. That's the key. Now, the third question we're going to take on right now is how can I adjust to being comfortable dating again after an unexpected death of my husband?
Whew, that's a good one.
Yeah.
How can I adjust being comfortable dating again after the unexpected death of my husband? First of all, depending on how long you've been with that person, depending on how much time you've spent with that person, a death is something that is very tragic and an experience that everyone goes through. Everyone goes through a part where they have family members or somebody like that pass away and die. Now, one important thing that I would have to bring is that, you know, you should not too much focus on the death, but celebrate the life of that person. Being able to have that relationship with that person. Being able to be blessed to have that person come into your life and to give you that love and that appreciation that you had. Yes, they passed away and it is a mournful period. So one of the things that I would do is I would recommend you to take it slow. And what I mean by taking it slow is finding some people that you feel comfortable with just going out. You're going to have to learn yourself all over again. Because now, I mean, it was you guys together as one. And now one part of you is lacking. So you have to learn yourself by yourself again. Learn how you can love yourself whole and fully again. And not having that other partner in play. So with that being said, I would recommend for them to start going out slowly, going out with friends, not really going out there and trying to date. It's good to find that. It's just have fun and enjoy you and enjoy the love that you've had and celebrate the love that you had.
Definitely.
That's what I think.
And I would say this too. I think in this situation it comes down to people feeling guilty when their partners transcend or pass over. And I would like to say that your partner that has passed over, they're in spirit now. They want you to be happy. They want you to experience love. They don't want you to stop experiencing love because they can't provide it anymore. That's not the case. If you really knew, if you could really talk or speak to the person that passed over, I'm sure the message you would get is they would want you to be happy and they would want you to continue dating and going out having fun. So don't feel guilty about falling in love with another person because love is infinite. I mean, there are many people on the planet that you can fall in love with. So don't feel guilty. Allow yourself, like Ron said, take it slow. Go and have fun. And really, if you're not ready to just be in a relationship, just take it slow and date and just have fun and go out and explore.
And if you're not ready, like Jason said, if you're not ready, the most important thing you can do is believe in yourself and understand your intuition and your emotions that you're having. If you're not ready, you're not ready at that time. And understand those emotions that you're having and be in that present moment with those emotions to understand how you truly are as you're going through that. Because it is a transitional period. And I have to agree with Jason. If he was able to pull that curtain back and ask them, they would want you to have some unconditional love. They had unconditional love for you, but they would want you to date again. They would want you to be happy again because you're a flower. It's something that's beautiful. Right. You're not going to deny sunlight to a flower because the next bush beside it passed away or died or something like that. No, you're going to keep watering that same flower. You're going to let that flower grow. The same thing applies. If any one of your mate passes away, they're going to want you to continue to love and appreciate the way you are and being yourself.
Right, so just know that even though your partner may have passed away, you still deserve to be loved. And you still deserve to have a beautiful relationship while you're still here. Alright, so that's going to do it for this episode of Relationship Rewind. We want to thank you once again for tuning in and checking us out. And once again, you can send questions to us. Our email and information will be posted at the end of this video, so you can send questions for the next episode. And we look forward to sharing with you guys again. Definitely.
Thanks. We definitely look forward to connecting with you guys soon.
Definitely. Alright, so we out of here. Peace.